Okay guys, so today we're watching his story. So let's go watch his shorts.
My idiot friend started peeing himself outside English
Okay,
class.
bro.
Dude, I'm so nervous for this presentation. If I screw it up, I'ma have to repeat June.
Wait. I wanna see what's louder. This, okay, we're gonna put this up there. Right there. Or right there. Oh shoot.
Junior year again, I slapped Rex. You got this, bro. Just try to picture everyone naked or something. For 10 years
Okay,
straight,
bro.
an old man would come into the diner every day at 8 a.m. sharp, sit in the corner, and order gumbo with no cracker. All of us would gossip. Why doesn't he talk to anyone? Do you think he's hiding something? But none of us were ready for the truth. And one day,
Wait.
at 8:15 a.m., when he still hadn't shown up, I was extremely worried. By noon, he'd missed his first bowl in 10 years, and I knew I had to do something. I untied my apron mid-shift and jogged the 4 blocks to his building. When I got to the front door, I knocked. "Earl, it's Ray from the diner. I'm just checking in." There was no response, so I pressed my ear to the door. Inside, I could hear a weak voice repeating, "Help," over and over. My heart was pounding, so I pressed my face to the window, and through a gap in the curtain, I saw a dark blood stain soaked into the carpet. I instantly started slamming myself into the door frame. "I'm coming in, Earl!" And when the door finally split open, Earl was on the floor between the couch and the coffee table, lips gray, one arm bent wrong beneath him. "Fell last night," he whispered. "Knew you'd come." I called 911 kneeling on that carpet and held his hand until the sirens arrived. At the hospital, a paramedic pulled me aside. If he spent another night on that floor, he'd be gone. You finding him is what saved him. A nurse stopped me at the desk with a clipboard. "Who should we call?" "Family. Emergency contact." I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. I realized I'd spent 10 years gossiping about what Earl was hiding, but the truth is, he was never hiding anything. He was just alone, and his gumbo routine was the only thing that saved him. No, it's just me. From there, every evening I brought him gumbo with no cracker, and before they discharged him, the regulars passed a jar down the counter and rented him the apartment right beside the diner so we'd know if anything happened to him again. On his first morning home, Earl eased onto his stool and grinned at me. "Gumbo, hold the cracker." For 10 years,
What if this were your-
W coffee place, bro?
the lawyer pointed at a picture of my inflatable dragon and told the judge it was the demon Baphomet. "Your Honor, this thing signals evil every single night with the..."
Wait, chat. Hold up. I have to see if I'm live. Give me a sec. We're gonna go back to watching his story in a second. Oh, right here. Frick.
dragon and told the judge it was the demon Baphomet. "Your Honor, this thing signals evil every single night with the..."
Wait, chat. Hold up. I have to see if I'm live. Give me a sec. We're gonna Okay. go back to watching his story.
we're live.
Frick. Okay, hold up. Okay, here we go.
Defendant's purple lights. I sat there in my one good suit, trying to figure out how an inflatable dragon had turned into a lawsuit that could cost me thousands of dollars. But at least I had come prepared with doorbell footage that made me a lot less nervous about what was about to happen. The neighbor got up next and wiped her eyes with a tissue. My son can't sleep because the dragon watches him from his window. Her lawyer nodded like it was the saddest thing he'd ever heard, and I rolled my eyes. He kept going. "Tell the court about the fog machine." She let out a dramatic wail. "It's not fog, it's spirit smoke, calling something in from the other side." Then she pulled out her phone. "And ever since he turned that thing on, I can't win a Wordle. My 47-day streak is gone." The judge just blinked at her, so her lawyer jumped back in, holding up a photo of my porch lights. "These purple lights form a pentagram when they hit the dragon's scales." I almost laughed out loud, but the judge shot me a look, so I bit my tongue. When it was finally my turn, I didn't have a fancy lawyer, just a folder of receipts. The dragon's name is Puffy McScales, not Baphomet, and I bought him at a party store for $80. Then I hooked my phone up to the big screen. Also, here's a video my doorbell took over the weekend. I smiled as the video showed my neighbor's son and 3 friends climbing all over the dragon, laughing and taking pictures with it. This is her son enjoying my Halloween decorations. The judge leaned forward. "Ma'am, is this true?" Her face went red and she started stuttering, so the judge banged his gavel. "Case dismissed." I left the dragon up an extra week just to picture her face every time she drove by. The lawyer
That's a
pointed at a
crazy
pic.
story.
I pet my horse, trying to get her to calm down, when my cousin grabbed her tail and yanked it for the 3rd time. Rusty whinnied and pulled away, and I instantly told Bradley, "Stop, my horse will kick you if you keep doing that." But Bradley just shrugged. "So what?" I paused. "What do you mean, so what?" "So what if your horse kicks me?" He flexed his biceps. "I'm strong, I can take it." I laughed and told get her to calm down when my cousin grabbed her tail and yanked it for the third time. Rusty whinnied and pulled away, and I instantly told Bradley, so the judge banged his gavel. Case dismissed. I left the dragon up an extra week just to picture her face every time she drove by. The lawyer pointed at a
story.
I pet my horse. Strong, I can take it. I laughed and told
Okay, my bad. My bad, guys.
him if my horse kicks him, he'll end up in the hospital. That's when Bradley clenched his fists. Nah, man, that's not how it works. How can a horse kick hard when it kicks backwards? He kicked his leg backward like he was proving a point. See, there's barely any power when I do it like that. I gripped my stomach, laughing and flabbergasted. Get a load of this guy. You're an idiot. But Bradley's eyes went red. Watch, I'll prove it. He wrapped Rusty's mane around his wrist and tugged hard, snapping Rusty's neck back. Go on, stupid horse, kick me. He laughed and clenched his jaw like he was ready. Rusty snorted in anger and stomped her leg on the ground so hard dust went flying. I gasped as I knew what this meant. I didn't want my cousin potentially dying, so I put my head on her neck to calm her down. It's okay, girl. But then Bradley gripped his head, laughing. It's a girl too? Yeah, her kicks won't be hard. Everyone knows girls are weaker than boys. He started kicking Rusty's calf. Come on, girl, kick me. I saw Rusty's leg lift, and my jaw dropped as I realized she was about to kick, so I immediately shoved Bradley away before she could and pointed towards the house. Get out of here, dude. Right now. Bradley looked past my shoulder up at Rusty. Told you couldn't kick me. He threw his middle fingers at her, then turned around. I breathed a sigh of relief, but then Bradley froze. He smiled as he saw the searing iron rod 10 yards away that we used to mark fences. He grabbed it and immediately started marching towards Rusty, pointing the red metal tip at her. Maybe now she'll try kick. I stood there shook. Bradley, no. But he pushed me out of the way and raised the rod inches from Rusty's leg. Kick me. That's when I saw Rusty tighten. She raised her leg and swung it backwards right as the rod was about to touch her. Her hoof hit Bradley's chest so hard I heard a crack, a pop, and a deflation all at once. Bradley literally flew through the air, landing on a hay bale 30 feet away as Rusty whinnied in satisfaction. I walked over to Bradley, who was clutching his chest. I didn't think she could kick that hard, he wheezed. I pet my horse, trying to get her to—
Yo, yeah, who's this?
Hey guys, it's
actually
Alexia here. I'm trying the new grass-fed hydrolyzed beef protein.
I came home from a work trip, and my girlfriend met me at the door with a blindfold. She got it on before I could look past her. I have a huge surprise for you. She walked me inside, and above me, I could hear our upstairs neighbor's bath running. Then she pulled the blindfold off, and my eyes expanded to the size of the moon. There was a sledgehammer on our couch, and a hole where the wall used to be. What did you do? I made it open concept. I grit my teeth and asked her what that wall was holding up before she took it down, but she waved me off. Babe, walls are just decoration. They don't hold anything up. That's when a crack popped above her head and spidered into a thin line across the ceiling. I grabbed her hand. We need to leave now. But she was already giving me the tour, pointing at empty air. The new couch goes here, and the vending machine goes there. I saw the crack above us split into 3, dust snowing into her hair. So I pulled her toward the door, but she pulled me back. I'm thinking of getting a new bathtub, but I don't know where it should go. Then I heard our upstairs neighbor's bathwater running, except it sounded too close. A warm drop landed on my forehead. The ceiling groaned like a sinking ship. I grabbed her waist and dove out the front door as everything came down behind us. The wall my girlfriend broke had been holding the entire bathtub in the apartment above us. When the dust settled, our upstairs neighbor was sitting in his bathtub in our living room, still holding his loofah. My girlfriend peeked past me and tilted her head, and the bathtub goes there.
Why would you put a bathtub in the middle of the living room?
Me and my sister asked Mom, when is Dad coming home? And she instantly shouted, never, your dad hates us. She picked up the last framed photo of them off the dresser and threw it in the fireplace, crying as it burned. Me and my sister looked at each other and decided we had to go find him. So the next day when Mom went to work, me and Jenny took a 3-hour bus to the town we used to live in. We visited the old park the 4 of us used to go and showed strangers old photos, but couldn't find him. But then Jenny yelled, wait, I think I see Dad. She was pointing at the bar he loved. Me and Jenny instantly sprinted in and started shoving through the crowd, but he wasn't there. We screamed, Dad, Dad! And that's when someone grabbed our shoulder. A man we didn't recognize bent down and smiled. Your dad sent me to come get you. I know exactly where he is. Me and Jenny lit up, and we started following him out back, our hands trembling with excitement as we were about to see our dad. But then we turned into an alley, and 4 grown men instantly surrounded us. My chest went cold, but before I could ask what's going on, the guy from the bar laughed. You kids are so dumb. Now give us your phones and jackets. Our kids need Christmas presents. My legs were shaking. Jenny yelled, no!
Doesn't it look like the middle of summer right there? Like,
not until we see our dad.
Unless they don't get snow or something. I don't know.
The men laughed. "Your dad isn't here," and started reaching for us. My stomach was doing flips as his hand reached inside my pocket, but that's when a fist connected with his face. Dad was here. The guy fell, and Dad punched another man. They all started running, and
I'll kidnap her, bro.
Dad instantly scooped me and Jenny into a hug. We cried, still shaking in fear. Dad asked what we're doing here, and when we explained everything and how we want our mom and dad back together, he went quiet. 2 hours later, we were back, and Mom's jaw dropped when she came home from work. "I want to try again, honey." Dad pulled her into a hug while she sobbed. It's now 6 months later, and there's a new framed photo on the dresser. Me and my sister asked—
I realized something. His story, his animation are like
Got a code?
different. His animations are different.
The volcano
He has a different style. Like the characters move different.
erupted just outside of town, and I watched as the giant ash cloud rose in the air. My brain short-circuited in fear as the first bit of debris flew in my direction, and I immediately ran outside to get in my car. Everyone was already driving away as the smell of black smoke filled the air, but when I yanked open my car door, I felt my neighbor shoving me to the ground. "Sorry, I need this more." He pulled the keys from my hand and got in, and I watched helplessly as my car tore off down the road. My legs buckled as I stood up, and a giant piece of rock flew inches above my head. The smoke got closer, so I started just running away, but suddenly a man from behind grabbed my shoulder. He started dragging me back towards the direction of the smoke, and my body froze up. I tried to rip free, screaming, "What are you doing?" But he slapped me and kept pulling me towards the ash, his grip tight around my shirt. "Stop fighting me." I watched the other people drive past us in their cars, away from the volcano while we walked towards it. The heat hit my face, and chunks of rock started slamming into the ground around us. But he didn't slow down for a second. I dug my heels into the ground as hard as I could, but he was older and stronger than me, and I couldn't break his grip. Flowing lava reached the street ahead of us, racing in our direction, and I realized we were about to burn alive. But suddenly, the man started entering a code on the side of a building. He dragged me inside just as the lava reached us and slammed the door. He doubled over, gasping, and between breaths explained he was a geologist who'd studied this volcano and built this bunker to survive an eruption. "When I saw everyone leaving with cars while you were running, I knew I had to help you." He wiped the sweat off his face while my hands shook. "The sad truth is, nobody in those cars will make it. That lava moves faster than any car." My body went cold as I realized if my neighbor never pushed me out of my car, I probably wouldn't be alive. The volcano
He was scared of him pulling him because he kidnapped him in the other short.
erupted just outside of the escalator broke down with me on it in my wheelchair. I'd decided to stay the night in Walmart, and when employees left, rolled out of my Ford of toilet paper. I saw the escalator still moving and immediately got on it, and my heart pounded with excitement as I'd never been on one. But while riding down, I saw the last security guard walking by. My heart froze because instead of turning around, he switched the power off and walked outside. The escalator stopped midway, leaving me trapped in my wheelchair. I screamed, "Help!" but I could see him already getting in his truck through the window. He looked right at me, laughed, then started the engine. I panicked because if I even moved an inch, I'd tumble down the escalator. And then I felt it. I needed to pee. I tried not to focus on it, but that only worsened the pressure in my bladder, and within an hour, I'd peed myself. It trickled down the escalator, and my heart pounded in shame and anxiety, but at least I'd peed. By the time I heard birds chirping, I was still awake, now hungry, and still stuck in the same spot. The doors opened, and the same security guard walked in alone. He looked up at me, and I felt my face go red in embarrassment as he doubled over laughing. He started walking towards me, and I was just happy I would finally get some help. But as soon as he stepped near me, his foot slipped under my pee that still hadn't dried. He fell hard and landed on the steps, and as he lay there not moving, I saw his phone screen flash. "You can cover the morning by yourself. I'll be in at 8. It was still 4:45. The escalator broke down with me on it in my wheelchair, and I was just happy I would finally get some help.
up,
But as soon as he
Bubble?
stepped near me, his foot slipped under my pee that still hadn't dried. He fell hard and landed on the steps, and as he lay there not moving, I saw his phone screen flash. "You can cover the morning by yourself. I'll be in at 8. It was still 4:45.
Okay, next story.
I was walking past my neighbor's yard when her dog jumped the fence and bit my calf. I screamed. I was
watched
waiting
that
for the
one.
bus in my wheelchair when a hustler flipped a crate and cleaned out the teenager next to me at 3-Card Monte, the game where you have to pick the queen. The teenager panicked and grabbed his head. "Wait, you literally cheated. That was my paycheck and I need it back." But the hustler just smirked. "Better luck next time, sucker." My hands squeezed my wheels because I'd watched his fingers and I knew he'd just ripped that teenager off. "I want to play," I said, unfolding my tray and slapping slapping my cash on it. You deal here. He laughed and tossed the teenager's pay on the tray. Sure, sucker number 2. Easiest money of my day. But his grin died mid-shuffle because the card sat dead level at my eye height. No tilt, no angles, and every trick he had needed a table I wasn't giving him. His fingers started sweating, and he threw faster and faster, and I didn't blink because if I lost, the kid would lose twice. He went for his final swap, and that's when I pinned his wrist to the tray. I pointed with my other hand and yelled, "Open your fist." He went pale and shook his head. "Let my hand go." So I held his wrist and peeled his fingers back one by one, and there was the queen, folded under his palm in front of everyone. I calmly picked up the cash and started counting. "You can't do that! You cheated!" he screamed, but I handed the cash to the kid and smiled. "Better luck next time, sucker." The kid thanked me for getting his money back, and the hustler folded his crate and whispered, "This isn't over," before running off. I was waiting for the bus and
I never really thought I would.
I was home alone
Wait.
playing Roblox on my mom's laptop when a giant ad popped up. You won
Okay, just by seeing this right here, I already know something's gonna go wrong.
unlimited free Robux. Click
Wait, am I still live? Okay.
to claim. My eyes sparkled as I clicked it, and a chat opened up. A message from a man. "Answer these questions and claim your prize." I leaned in, ready to answer anything. "What's your address? Are you home alone? Any cameras or alarms?" I typed, "My address, just me, and no cameras." Then he asked, "Do you know where your mom keeps her valuables?" And I proudly told him I knew the spot. "You're all set. Your Robux is coming right now." I sat there grinning, thinking about everything I'd buy, when 20 minutes
you
later,
cooked,
the
bro.
doorbell rang, and
You
I knew
cooked.
it was my unlimited Robux. I flung the door open, but 2 men in black hoodies stepped inside
Okay, bro.
instead. The
At this point,
second the door
grown
clicked
man's
shut,
coming in
their
your house. He said he's gonna give you Robux. You're done, bro!
friendly smiles vanished. "Where's your mom keep the good stuff, kid?" I noticed the
Wait. Yeah,
minutes
you
later,
cooked,
the
bro.
doorbell rang. Black duffel bags in their hands and hesitated. "Wait, what are the bags for?" But one of them crouched down and grinned. "For your Robux, buddy. Unlimited. Just show us where the valuables are first." So I forgot all about the bags and led them down the hall to claim my prize. But halfway there, one man froze, staring at the corner where a little red light was blinking. "You said there were no cameras. Narts, let's do this quick." The other one nudged me forward. "Move fast and we'll double your Robux." My heart raced as I
Double
pushed open my
unlimited?
parents'
Yeah,
bedroom door
yeah.
and started
Okay,
punching
bro.
in the code to the safe. But when I glanced up, I saw a gun tucked into one of their waistbands. My legs started shaking, and I realized something was wrong, but it was too late. They were already inside, and the safe clicked open. They pushed past me and entered the safe room as I sat there thinking that this was a bad idea. But the second they started putting things in their bags, a loud alarm blared, and metal bars crashed down, trapping them in the safe, and me on the other side. They threw themselves at
they're
the bars.
cooked.
"Hey, what's going on? Let us out!" But I stood there frozen. No idea how this happened. Then my mom's voice came through the speaker. "I have everything on camera. The police are coming, and I'm on my way home." Seconds later, the police flooded in and dragged the men out in handcuffs. Then I heard the front door slam, and I shrieked because I knew I was in trouble. My mom ran to me, took her laptop away, and pointed her finger. "Next time, ask me for Robux." My eyes sparkled. "So can I still get the Robux?" I was home alone
Okay,
playing
bro.
Roblox on my
Can I still get the Robux? I got us robbed. Can I still get the Robux?
Our classroom bearded dragon Godzilla hadn't moved all week because his heat lamp was flickering and his water dish was empty. I raised my hand. "Mr. Dawson, Godzilla's lamp is still broken and he needs water." He didn't even look up from his desk. "I'll get to it." He'd been saying that for 3 days straight, and winter break started tomorrow, so there would be no one checking on
You're
Godzilla
cooked.
for 2 full weeks. I clenched my fists, sick of watching him suffer while nobody did anything about it. That's when I decided if nobody else was going to save him, I would. Late that night, I picked the classroom window lock, climbed through, and grabbed Godzilla's tank. It was heavier than I expected, and I'd only made it halfway down the hall when a flashlight hit me from behind. Freeze. I turned around slowly, shaking because I was sure I was about to get in huge trouble. The janitor lowered his light, studying the tank. Then Godzilla curled inside it. "Is that the lizard from Mr. Dawson's room?" I nodded, my heart slamming so hard I could feel it in my throat. Instead of reaching for his radio, he grabbed the other end of the tank. "Let me help you. This thing's heavier than it looks." We carried it out to the parking lot together, and as we loaded it into my car, he tapped the glass. I complained about that lamp myself 3 times. Nobody ever listens to the janitor either. I took Godzilla home and hooked him up with a new heat lamp and a full bowl of water. When school started back up, Mr. Dawson stormed into first period. Furious, the tank was gone. "Which one of you took Godzilla?" Nobody said a word. Then he glared at me. "You were the one complaining about him before break. Was it you?" My heart pounded. "I don't know what you're talking about." He slammed his hand on his desk hard enough to make the whole class jump. "This is theft. I want him back today." Before I could say anything, the janitor appeared in the doorway. Actually, I helped an anonymous student move him because his lamp had been broken for over a month, and I've got the reports to prove it. Mr. Dawson opened his mouth to respond, but the janitor held up his hand to stop him. The principal wants to see you. Now, Mr. Dawson's face went pale as he followed the janitor out, and the whole class
And
turned to
then
stare at
now
me.
he
I just smiled. Wasn't me. Our classroom bearded
Okay,
dragon
I
god
smiled. What is it?
Okay, chat, I'm back. I'm back, chat. No, why do my streams just always do bad? All my streams just do completely bad. Not even mid, just bad. Okay, chat, I'm back. Okay.
My teacher started crying mid-lesson about the Pythagorean theorem. Do you guys think my husband is cheating on me? Silence. My basement tenant moved out after 9 years and left the place cleaner than the day he got the keys. But while I was inspecting the unit, I saw that somebody had cut a square out of the drywall in the hall closet, patched it back in, and painted over the seam. Nobody had ever gotten my permission to do work in that apartment. He'd hidden something in the walls, and I needed to complete the inspection before I could rent the place out again. So I was going to find out what it was, no matter the cost. I smashed a hammer through the drywall. There was no smell or mess, but somebody had built a weird shelf in the wall. The first thing I picked up was a school photograph of a little girl in a dress I did not recognize, and my hand shook as I realized it was my daughter from about 3 years before I adopted her. Underneath it was a folder 4 inches thick full of photographs of a man I had never seen before parked outside my house. A board pinned to the wall tracked every time I ever left my daughter home alone, and as I read it, I felt like I had snakes crawling under my skin. An envelope on the shelf had my name on it,
Are we
which
not gonna talk about?
I tore open immediately.
Are we not gonna talk about how he lives in the literal nowhere? He lives in the literal middle of nowhere.
I stole her. I took a 6-year-old girl out of a house where she was not going to live to see 7, and I have not been sorry about it one day since. Her father has been hunting for her ever since, and I hope you never once noticed how close he got. Thanks for being the father she actually deserved. I sat down on that closet floor with the folder open in my lap. The photographs of that man stopped in March, 2 months before my daughter turned 18 and left for college, and I never knew her birth father was trying to take her from me this whole time. That tenant paid rent on the basement under my daughter's bedroom for 9 years, and I never even once thought to check if he could be a kidnapper. I hugged the letter to my chest, thankful that this kidnapper worked to keep my daughter with me rather than take her away from me.
Hold up, chat.
I put the letter in my pocket and patched that wall back up, and I still hadn't decided whether I was supposed to tell my daughter or not. My basement tenant moved out after 9 years.
Wait, I'm so confused. So, I'm actually so confused on that video.
I put the letter in my pocket and patched that wall back up, and I still hadn't decided whether I was supposed to tell my daughter or not. My basement tenant moved out after 9 years.
Wait, I'm so confused. So, did she get kidnapped or, like...
On a
Wait.
class trip to the
His
aquarium, a sea
animation
lion
is
did a little
sometimes
dance for my bread,
confused.
so I happily tossed a piece into its mouth. But then I looked up and saw the sign, "No feeding the animals, $10,000 fine or jail." I shrieked in horror, because I just love animals more than anything. Then my teacher pointed. The entire restaurant sang happy birthday. My older brother measured me for the 6th time. We were eating dinner. The doctor pointed at my daughter's hospital room with tears in his eyes. The treatment failed. Your 9-year-old has a week left to live. I woke up to my little brother standing over me in ski goggles and oven mitts, aiming
Okay,
his toy
bro.
bow at my face. Get up. The wasp monster found our base. He dragged me
What?
downstairs while I told him he was crazy, but he shook his head. Relax. I haven't washed my underwear in 3 months. I'm immune to
Okay, bro.
all wasps. I gagged so hard I almost passed out. Then he pointed through the front door window, and my gagging stopped. A wasp nest the size of a basketball was hanging right above our door. If that swarm got inside, we were cooked. Before I could stop him, he cracked the door and fired. The suction cup stuck to the nest, and wasps poured.
Have you ever had a really
I snuck
You're
into
so
an art museum
smart for doing that, bro.
with my own painting hidden behind my back, along with a $1 million price tag in my hand. An expert was lecturing a crowd. Only a trained eye can recognize true art, while pointing at a banana taped to the wall. I nodded and smiled, because this is exactly why I came here. I was broke, so if a banana was art, my painting of a coffee stain was about to make me rich. I stood near an empty wall, and the second the security guard turned away, I slapped my painting on the wall, stuck the price tag under it, and slid back into the crowd. My heart was racing so fast I had to pat my chest to calm down. A rich collector spotted the new painting, so he pushed everyone out of the way and planted himself in front of my painting. His eyes went wide, and he waved the expert from earlier. The crowd followed, and the collector pointed at the painting with a smile. This is exquisite. The craftsmanship must be from the 1800s. I rubbed my hands together and began imagining how I was going to spend the $1 million. But then I saw my signature was smudged, and I froze, because without my name, nobody could prove it was mine. So I immediately slid over to fix it. I touched the smudge with my finger, but the expert instantly snatched my wrist. "Do not touch the art. Get this idiot out of here." I went pale and tried to pull my hand back, but the guard was already lifting me off my feet. "Wait, that's my painting. I was just fixing it." He shook his head, laughed, and started carrying me away. That's when I made my wife cry on Christmas morning. My science teacher dropped my test
Stream.
on my desk with a giant red F at the top, and my eyes shot wide because every answer on the page was correct. I raised my hand and asked why I got an F when I got everything right. Ms. Briers spun around so fast I thought she'd give herself whiplash. "Because you're lazy. You've skipped my class all year, and now you think a few right answers earns you a pass." I stood up and told her that's exactly what I think. I aced it because I actually love science, not because I sat in her room.
I
She
saw
crossed the
this
room in
video,
2
guys.
steps and got right in my face. She grabbed the
This is gonna
pen
be
and wrote a
last
giant
video,
F
then
in
I'm
her
ending
notebook so
stream
hard the
'cause,
page
like,
nearly
this-
ripped.
the
We got new
stream's doing so
microscopes in 2
bad.
weeks ago. You were never here and somehow knew everything about them. That's cheating, and I'll report you for it. I clenched my fists so hard the test crumpled in my hand. This is bullcrap. Every answer is right. I'm taking this to the principal. I stormed out, and she grabbed her gradebook and followed me the whole way. In the principal's office, I slammed the crumpled test on his desk and told him every answer was correct, and she'd failed me anyway. Ms. Briers cut in before I finished. "He skipped my class all year. He doesn't deserve to pass." The principal smoothed the test flat and ran his eyes down it, his brow tightening. "But these answers are all correct. Why did you fail him?" The color drained from her face. "Because he skips my class. He can't just skip my class and pass." The principal set the test down and turned to her. "Do you know why he
Because he skipped my class. Because he skipped my class to pass.
skips your class?" She opened her mouth, but nothing came out, so I said it for her. Every afternoon while her class was running, I was working at the nearby grocery store, and every paycheck went straight to the science department because the school couldn't afford science equipment. The principal nodded because he already knew. I turned to Ms. Briers. "I knew everything about those new microscopes because I'm the one who bought them. I love science, so I'll skip your class every time if that means getting the equipment for me and my classmates." Her hands shook as she mumbled an apology, then opened her gradebook, crossed out my F, and wrote an A. My science teacher dropped my
An A, that's it, not an A plus 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 plus.
As he
plus.
already knew, I turned to Ms. Briers. I knew everything about those new microscopes because this morning, my science teacher dropped my test on his desk and told him every answer was correct and she'd failed me class and pass. The principal set the test down and turned to her. Do you know why he
skipped my class. He got to skip my class to pass.
skips your class? She opened her mouth, but nothing came
Okay,
out, so
bro.
I said it for her. Every afternoon while her class was running, I was
Okay, guys, I'm gonna
Gonna end me stream here. Be